guy who lives in my neighborhood, who's a professor of English in Chicago, who I know and who I have not received some official endorsement from. He's not somebody who I exchange ideas from on a regular basis, who engaged in detestable acts 40 years ago when I was 8 years old, somehow reflects on me and my values doesn't make much sense.
My name is Bernadine Dorn, and I was part of the Weather Underground from, well, it's hard to say when it started, 1970 to 1980.
There is nobody around Bill Ayers who would not know this man's history, or Bernadine's. They all knew who Billy Ayers was. There's no way on earth that Barack Obama could be involved with them and not know who Billy and Bernadine were and what they did and what their agendas were. They hate America.
Ultimately, I ended up learning about the fact that he had engaged in this reprehensible act 40 years ago. But I was 8 years old at the time, and I assumed that he had been rehabilitated.
I was committed to being a part of what I thought was going to be a really serious and ongoing rebellion, upheaval that had the potential of not just ending the war, but of really overthrowing the capitalist system.
I helped found an organization whose goal was the violent overthrow of the government of the United States.
The best that we could do was to bring about a catastrophic series of actions that would get the attention of the world. We figured out how to use guns and how to use bombs. I mean, we taught ourselves, we trained ourselves how to do it.
When we would move off campuses, establish ourselves in working class neighborhoods, organizing among working class youth.
And so I went first to Detroit and then was involved in several of the summer programs. But yeah, we built collective houses, and it was this kind of intense moment of trying to transform a group of relatively privileged students into fighters and steel ourselves for what we saw was the coming upheaval.
It's going to mean a fight, and it's going to mean a lot of white people risking a lot of things when they finally join on the side of the black people. And
we wanted to become communist cadre, completely committed to the revolution.
Third World revolutionaries and militant groups in America, like the Black Panthers, would soon overthrow the American government. They argued that SDS had to join this worldwide revolution by organizing white kids to begin fighting.
White youth must choose sides now. We must either fight on the side of the oppressed or be on the side of the oppressor.
The Weather people's ideas about revolution and communism were kindergarten ideas. So it was kind of, we're going to go it alone. There's a revolution in process. Join us. That's it. That's basically what they were saying. Join us or fuck you. It was infuriating and depressing. And I sat in a state of horror watching the Weathermen running away with the student left.
There were armed robberies. There were all armed robberies, terrorism. You know, there was all kinds of things that went down that were illegal. So I tell you that we did them, but I'm not going to tell you which ones I did or who did what, because you just can't do that.
We challenge each other to be more violent.
The bigger the mess we could make, the better. That is, that whatever it cost, whatever, destructive kinds of activity we could do against the U.S. government, the better.
There were no innocent Americans, at least not among the white ones. All guilty. All Americans were legitimate targets for attack. We wanted this country to taste a tiny bit of what it had been dishing out.
They had decided to set off the bomb at a non-commissioned officer's dance at Fort Dix. The idea being that there are no innocent in this war of aggression.
What we wanted to do here was deliver the most horrific hit that the United States government had ever suffered on its territory. And we really wanted to give the United States and the rest of the world a sense that this country was going to be completely unlivable.
I think what has to be stared at is that they brought themselves, they were not brought, they brought themselves to that point. To the point at which they were ready to be mass murderers.
An expensive townhouse in New York's Greenwich Village was destroyed by 3 explosions, which killed at least 3 people.
The police still only know a part of the story. What they still have to find out is a good deal more about the extent of the bomb plot and the extent to which the student protesters of the 60s have turned into more serious revolutionaries using far more lethal weapons.
To me, it was just too cultish. There would be, people would go on and on.
I want you to argue with them and get in their face and